Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of A Conversation Over Drinks. I'm Coach Wolverine.
Coach Kelowna.
And today we want to talk to you about something very fitness nutrition specific about dietary conformity.
Fad Diets.
Fad diets, yeah. And we decided to give the fire beans a go again, just because we're that SMRT. And I didn't realize that my sriracha was the weakest of all of them, so now I kind of feel like a bit of a wuss. So yeah, we're gonna do it again while talking about. We're gonna eat stuff while talking about eating stuff.
All right. Okay, we can't do the same one we did last time.
True. Yeah.
Deal. Spin it again.
Or is this one for you or for me?
Yeah, do it for me. I guess I could have that, but all right. All right. Second.
Habanero.
Second worst. Dope. Love that. Is orange.
All right. Oh, I'm scared, guys. The last one was rough.
Same.
Also habanero.
Samesies.
Okay, that works. All right. It's
Cheers.
Probably the second and last.
We just got it.
This one's sweeter than the last one. This one is not as bad as the sriracha.
It's pretty bad.
See, no hiccups. All right, dietary conformity.
Give me like 2 minutes.
All right, so fad diets. They're bad. Okay. I'm going to give you the answer of what I think is the answer anyways, right off the get-go here. Follow anything that you can actually manageably or maintain and follow, right? Saying that veganism is better over keto, over carnivore, or, not putting the one. So if veganism is better than keto or vice versa, or carnivore vice versa, or
saying one
paleo
diet is superior to the other.
It can't work like that. I'm a big believer off of almost like eating for your blood type, right? Or your ancestors, right? If you look at what we used to consume genetically and follow along that kind of stuff and just eat things as natural as possible, right? Like if there's things on the box that in the ingredients that you can't pronounce, like probably shouldn't be consuming it. This is, again, just my opinion. It's what's worked for me. I've done keto. I absolutely loved it when I did it, but then I had to come off because my body stopped responding. And I've done so many other different diets under the sun because I used to be very overweight and hated myself, so I did everything I could to try and lose weight. Both healthy and unhealthy ways. But yeah, my rule is green face. If you can't kill it, or you can't grow it, don't eat it. Right? You're not going to go hunt a bag of chips.
They're pretty good.
They are pretty good as a treat, though, right?
Yeah.
And then that's where I implement the 80-20 rule. Right? I don't deprive myself of things like that. Like if I want to go have a chocolate bar, I'll go have a chocolate bar, but I'm going to make sure I earned that chocolate bar.
See, and the earning thing is also different mentality, right? Like for me, I agree almost in entirety. Whatever you can be consistent with, that falls in the parameters of either a caloric surplus or a caloric deficit. For most people, there are people where elimination diets, which are your carnivore diet, your keto diet, like these types of things that completely eliminate certain food groups, make more sense. That goes a little beyond, it goes quite a bit beyond my nutritional. I get it. I understand the concept of it. But I'm not going to sit here and explain it. Some people's bodies respond to things in a negative way that need to be eliminated completely. But more importantly than switching to a keto diet and, I had great results, it's reintegrating foods that you canceled out to figure out what the problem is. So once you isolate what the problem is, maybe you simply just can't eat tomatoes or anything in the tomato family, right? Nightshades, I guess, would be what that would be.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I just can't eat nightshades. It doesn't mean you have to just only eat protein and meat and animal products and all that stuff, right? Like there's an extreme end, but there is a way to pull it back to neutral. And the biggest thing for results is always going to be consistency. There's no difference in high sugar, low sugar, high carb, low sugar. There's none for weight loss.
It's with weight loss, it's calories in versus calories out, and a lot of people don't understand that. Yes, quality calories do come into play for performance.
Yeah.
Right. Like I wouldn't want to run a marathon on cake calories. Personally, I would get very bloated and lethargic.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to weight loss, it is calories in versus calories out. However, for like overall like health wise, least amount of additives, least amount of processing of some
you
sort
want your
of
whole
thing.
foods, right?
Yeah, like if you eat the rainbow, all of the fruits and vegetables, you know, your meat shouldn't be processed in a tube unless you do it yourself.
Ideally, you're eating grass-fed everything, right? Like
Yeah.
But when it comes to fad diets specifically, I don't know any fad diets that are being pitched to performing athletes.
No, it's usually the very emotionally insecure individual that wants to lose weight by next weekend.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? So that's where you get those. And like we have these insecurities because if we're like obsessing over weight loss, we're following people that have all done it, which is the same thing. When they're like, oh, I did this. Chances are they didn't. Chances are if they're an influencer on Instagram, they did it with help. And by that I mean like not natural help. And then and that's in the fitness community. Obviously, there's like health coaches that have gone through big transformations without that. But the biggest thing is the consistency, and then the base rocks are there. We don't have to beat this one to death. Like this is a pretty simple thing. It's like if you're following a fad diet and you're following it for 6 weeks, but you want results in 6 months, it's not going to happen. If you're doing anything for 6 weeks and you want to have those results in 6 months, it's not going to happen.
No. Basically, eat food or eat a dietary plan that is maintainable. And just because a celebrity says that it's amazing doesn't make it amazing. And just because one diet, one style of eating, just because it works for one person does not mean it's going to work for the next. It really doesn't. And like I've known people, so like I said, I've tried keto, I loved it. I've known people that tried it and absolutely hated it. It did not work well for them, right? Whereas like for myself, like I love carbs, I perform very well eating carbs, but I retain a ton of water weight when I eat carbs. It doesn't matter what kind of carbs it is that I'm eating. But the thing is that about how I'm eating now, and when I was eating for keto or eating keto in ketosis for 4 years, was that the way I was eating was maintainable
For your lifestyle.
and for my lifestyle and enjoyable, right? We have to still live without feeling like we are losing a bunch of things through our diets. Otherwise, we start pushing ourselves into a scarcity or lack mindset, right? We start focusing on what we don't get, and then that's how we start reverting back to the other direction of, you know, jumping out of the fad diet and stuffing our faces with everything under the sun again.
Or bouncing from one fad diet to the other. It doesn't matter what we're doing. If we're switching and not being consistent, we're screwed.
Yeah.
So, and then guess what? The industry relies on us bouncing around.
Yep.
There's people that run nutritional challenges twice a year, and the same people are in it all the time. It's the same challenge, but it's for 6 weeks.
Yep.
There's 52 weeks in a year, not 12.
Yep.
So
it's like, yeah, okay, you do the crash diet for 12 weeks or 6 weeks or 10 weeks, whatever the diet plan is, but what are you doing for the rest of the year?
and that's just it, right? And those are the things like we don't do these types of things.
No.
And we get it. From the business standpoint, they make money, and that's the reality of it. We can't knock anyone for a hustle, but at the same time, it needs to be done with the intention of long-term change. And that's the integrity behind what we do, and that's what we look to kind of just bring out with this stuff. This is why we talk about it in a raw form like this.
So be mindful of when you see, like, you know, the magazine at the cashier at the store with this new diet or this new fruits from Africa that was just recently discovered that's going to make you lose 12 pounds in the next 2 weeks. Like, no.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
And this will...
Hard work and consistency. Time, patience, and sweat equity. That's the only thing that's going to get you to where you want to go.
And January and September, October, these things are nuts, crazy, way worse than ever, because those are the 2 busiest months of the year in the fitness community. And that's for everything. That's for coaching, gyms itself,
Yep.
challenges everything. I start paying attention to when these things pop up because they're all within a few weeks of each other, and that's because that's the cycle we all work on. But if you want to make change, it doesn't start in January, it doesn't start in September, it starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, it starts today, but it's
Starts whenever you
it's
choose.
9 p.m. So
It is
tomorrow.
9 p.m. So
But,
that's the biggest thing. Remember, time, patience, consistency, sweat equity, and
Quit giving these diets more credit than they deserve. That's all.
exactly. That's it.
But that's it for me. If you want to like, share, subscribe, shit talk, do whatever you got to do. We want to talk, right? Have conversations. If you don't like what we had to say because you love the keto diet, cool. Tell us why.
If you prefer veganism, cool. Also tell us
Cool.
why.
Tell us why.
Vegetarian, Atkins, paleo, like whatever. There's tons of them out there.
Or your preferences to consistently live a healthy lifestyle, then let us know how you're doing. Other than
Drink
that,
everything in a weird beige shake with all of the nutrients. Just in that.
I don't know. My shakes are
Yeah.
kind of gross. But
That's it for everything today, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. You got it? You got it?
Yeah.
Can we hold my hand up?